We have a new president. I don't know if you've heard that yet. We have a new.
I didn't know. Thank you for breaking the news.
How do you think that will affect the housing market? I saw on, maybe it was his first day, or maybe it was even on inauguration day, that he issued a bunch of executive orders, and it had a lot of, in my opinion, kind of overarching themes. I want to have less regulation. I want to make houses more affordable. I wanted this, that, and the other. Now, I didn't see any meat that said what was going to happen, but it seems to me like he's at least started a PR campaign about fixing things in terms of housing affordability in the U.S. Any thoughts from you on what we might see under this president?
Yeah, I mean, I hope everything you mentioned, they go forward with it. Politicians are hard to read. Trump is different, though, to a certain degree. He's become a politician, but originally he wasn't much of one. But sometimes it's hard to trust what they say, and they actually go through with the things they promise. Historically, people on the homebuilding side have always kind of favored more of a Republican president, Republican government, because there is typically pro less government. And one of the biggest housing issues that builders have been having is the government overreach. Just getting permits pulled, getting zoning changes, all of these things, it takes just way too long. So if we are in that direction, that'd be helpful.
We thought as interest rates, the Federal Reserve dropped rates twice last year, right? And after both of them, I would say rates were higher 30 days later than they were, which is a kind of a weird phenomenon, because I think people are expecting something different.
That was very strange. The housing market actually did pretty well. I'm sure you just covered it. I wasn't able to hear that segment, but I'm sure you covered how good December overall. Fourth quarter was
good.
Was okay. Yeah, I mean, what can you expect right now? We had so many bad months and quarters lately. So maybe that's something to do with it. Just that maybe a little bit more demand for the mortgage rate. Getting a mortgage, but it's still 7% is just way too high. That is still the biggest reason for people to have any sort of hesitancy. And I was looking at some interesting numbers. It's from the Atlanta Fed, but they were talking about the median home payment that a consumer was spending. And before COVID hit, the median home payment was $1,600.
And I assume that's just principal and interest, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, they can do a rough estimate possibly on insurance and taxes.
Okay.
But I believe that is right, because I know just based on buying a house around that time and people buying houses. But today it's nearly double, 3,100. This is a national average, not an Atlanta average, but Atlanta is still pretty close to the national average for home pricing. But a double, I mean, that's just that's unheard of to happen in a span of 4 years like that. You mentioned 4.5% up. That's pretty close to what we have as well. Our numbers are usually a little bit lower because we're including a lot of new homes that aren't on the MLS just because they're very expensive or they're built for rent, kind of things like that. But that's historically pretty average to be 4% up. So as a consumer, you should expect a home to keep appreciating most likely 4% every year. 3 is maybe a little bit more of a conservative number.
Yeah.
We've never seen home prices go down except for the Great Recession in the last 40 years, I would say. So you shouldn't expect that. I know people still say, "Oh, I'm waiting for that next big crash." That was a once in a lifetime event, in my opinion. I don't think you're gonna see anything like that ever again. Even with, I thought we might have some negative depreciation in these home prices the last couple of years after we rose so much. We're still flat, or we've had months where we're up 9% in the last couple of years. So, but we have new home attached pretty much flat. When I say attached too, I mean we used to include condos. Condos are just gone. It's an archaic thing. Nobody builds condos anymore. Everything's apartments you see going up essentially. And detached we have up about 4.5% as well. So that's a pretty spot on number. The attached makes sense. A lot of the new home townhome communities typically won't list everything in there. They'll list maybe just like a few of the plans, and that's all they need to go from there. So you're always going to see a pretty big discrepancy for townhome closings.